Hey guys, this is Felix and the Dicer with the Love Shack, and you're listening to KAGJ FM Ephraim. Well, we have a great show tonight. We're going to be talking a lot about, things related to homecoming-ish.
Yeah.
That was just this last week, so.
Yeah, homecoming, and, we're going to be talking about homecoming, and then, other things that may have come from homecoming,
exactly,
we should say.
Well, because we're going to be talking, first off, we're going to be talking about an overview of homecoming, since that was just this last Saturday. I know we've got lots of different opinions on how that was. I mean, for the most part, I think it was a positive, outlook on everything. So we're going to do an overview of that, and we're going to be talking about having a song. We're going to be talking about dropping hints that someone's not interested, and we're also going to be talking about how to make someone fall for you, which is actually a question that we received from a caller just this last semester. So we are just going to, try and answer some of those questions for you guys out there.
Do our thing.
Because we're date doctors. That's what we do.
Okay, well, we're going to start it off with our top breakup songs of the week. Going head-to-head, it's We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together by Taylor Swift. And it's going up against The One That Got Away by Katy Perry. And if you feel strongly that one or the other should win, be sure to call into the cage. The number is 435-283-7007. Or you can go to our Facebook page and like it, and then vote. And our Facebook page is www.facebook.com/The Love Shack with Felix and the Dicer. So be sure to vote. Here's We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together.
That was the one that got away by Katy Perry.
Vote for the top breakup song of the week, by the way. Do it. Do it now.
Yeah, there's one that's in a huge lead right now.
Huge by 3. Huge.
So, if you feel passionately that one of them should win, please, please, please let us know on our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/The Love Shack with Felix and the Dicer. Or, you can call in.
But do it after we're done
with
talking.
this segment, though, because it gets kind of hard. So, just wait.
It's hard for us to concentrate.
But we'll do that later. So that
if we remember.
We'll see. Anyways.
So we had homecoming on Saturday,
Yes, we did.
Well, actually, homecoming was all last week, but the dance was on Saturday.
Which is usually a big deal. So
yeah, usually. But this year, for some reason, a lot of guys did not ask to the dance. A lot. And so we were trying to find, people who went, who could help give us input. But we only had, one friend who really, we saw him today, and we're like, you went to homecoming. Please tell us about how it was, yeah. But other than that, a lot of our friends did not go to homecoming. Why? Because they weren't asked. Or they were cool like Felix and I, and went stag.
Which was awesome. And we will be talking about that as well, because there were some interesting things that happened with our experience with homecoming.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm sure that it wasn't just us. So we will talk about those in just a minute. But first off, our friend, he thought that it was really fun.
Yeah, he said it was fun. He didn't like the music. He was like, there's too much bass music. But overall, it was a good time for him. He seemed to have fun. We didn't even say hi because he looked like he was having too much fun. We were we walked by 5 times purposely, and we're like, yeah, he's not going to say hi to us. So, not that we weren't going to say hi. It's not that we were expecting him to say hi to us first. But yeah, he just didn't look like he wanted to be interrupted,
Well,
so
he had a date.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't want 2 awesome girls to come up and compete with her.
Oh, of course.
No.
And I think another big deal for, especially down here, and when we went stag, something that I noticed is that there were so many people that went stag, but you weren't really sure who had dates and who went stag, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Because there were just so many people that went stag, so it made it kind of awkward to be like, okay, who am I allowed to flirt with? Who am I allowed to talk to? You know what I mean? Because you don't know who has dates, and you kind of were clueless about who went with him. I mean, aside from the couples who would be very coupley.
Yeah. That's the clean version.
That's a clean version to say it.
Yeah.
So, what did you think?
I don't know. I thought it was fun to go stag, honestly, but I don't know. It was, for me, it was better to get out and do something than to sit at home and be like, I don't have a date.
I agree.
You know, I have a date with Ben and Jerry's. I know a lot of people were saying that. Like, I have a date with 2 guys, Ben and Jerry, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had a date with Felix in the most, what is it, heterosexual way.
Yes, very heterosexual.
Yeah.
We were on a date checking out all the other guys.
Yes.
It was fun. And I enjoyed myself a lot. Like I said, we went stag, and I mean, I enjoyed myself. I even danced with a guy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't expecting anything like that. But it was fun. It was really, really fun. But I do agree, and I do think that it would have been a whole heck of a lot funner if we had dates.
Yeah, definitely. But there was that one guy. We saw a guy in my ward, and we were like, hey, how's it going? You know, and he's like, good. You know, who are you here with? Well, this is my date, so-and-so. And this is her date, so-and-so.
And it's like, why can't you just ask another girl?
Yeah, it was like 1 girl, 2 guys. What the crap?
Okay, yeah, because the ratios are terrible down here when it comes to girls versus guys. So I'm like, what a lucky chick. Holy
having
snot.
2 guys. You know, they were probably just
sensational.
They were probably just all going as friends, and they were probably joking around. But still, at the same time, it's like, you guys could have, like, legitimately asked someone like me.
Right here. I'm raising my
Hi,
hand
hello.
quite literally right now. But that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. So
I don't know. I think another one that I was thinking about was, like I said, some guy came up to me and asked me to dance, which I'm great. I was thinking, oh, some more people went stag. Great. So I'm dancing with this guy, and I'm just kind of like, hey, so did you come stag? You know, just asking him about it. And then he was like, nope. I'm like, oh, well, then where's your date? She left outside for a minute, so I'm dancing with you now, which is great.
home wrecker.
I am a home wrecker. It's terrible. And so, I don't know. It was a fun dance, and it was good, and it wasn't really that big of a deal, frankly. But at the same time, I was thinking about it, and it's like, what are your thoughts on this? As far as, like, when you're on a date with somebody, because it was a date.
Yes.
You're on a date to a dance. Then, you know, you leave or whatever. I don't know what was going on. But what are your thoughts on that? Like, what boundaries do you cross? Because I know that I've actually heard stories from the Dicer here about being on dates and hesitating to give a business card out. Because
I was on a date.
Because you were on a date, so you can't give your number to the waiter.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what are your thoughts on that?
On the guy asking you to dance?
Yeah.
When he had a date? Personally, I feel like that's completely inappropriate.
Okay, why is that?
Like, good for you. You've danced with someone. I'm not bashing on you in any way. I'm bashing on the guy.
Okay.
But, like, why isn't he with his date? Didn't he ask her on a date to spend time with her? Like,
Yeah.
that's what I would assume. It's not like, hey, let's go to the dance. You want to go together?
Yeah.
We'll ditch each other halfway through, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I even had my little brother, this happened to him during one of my high school dances. Like, we were in the same group. He was only 2 years apart from me, so he was a sophomore, I was a senior. One of my friends had asked him to the dance, and she would ditch him all the time during the dance, so I was like, just come dance with me. And, you know, I asked one of our mutual friends. But anyway, I feel like it's defeating the purpose of, like, the whole date.
Okay.
Because you're asking people on a date to go have fun with them and to get to know them better.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not with them, like, even if she went outside for a little bit and he didn't want to be outside with her, he probably should have been outside with her anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
Just, it's almost common courtesy.
Yeah, well, it's a date.
Yeah, I'm
It's
not...
kind of like what we talked about with chivalry.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, and I'm not saying, like, you know, if your date says, oh, I'm going to go to the bathroom, check out my hair, I'm not saying go follow her there.
'Cause that's weird.
That is so weird.
You need to have that fine line between what's socially appropriate and what's not.
Yeah,
So-
and I don't know. I just feel like that was strange. When you told me he had a date, I was like, that's not okay.
I know, and I didn't know, so I tried to make things a little less awkward, and it was fine. I don't think it was awkward at all honesty, but, you know.
Yeah.
It was
it's
just a
still-
situation, so I was just kind of like, oh, I feel bad. Where's your date?
Right.
I don't know. And that's happened to me on many instances, actually. One of our mutual friends, I went to a Western swing dance once up in Provo. And he didn't know where his date was. He couldn't find her. I know. And so I ended up dancing like 4 or 5 songs with this kid, and I felt really bad because he had his date somewhere.
Right.
But I feel like it was just a little bit different because she was entering a competition with somebody, and like it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
But I still feel like on her part,
right,
it's a date, so just do your best to get to know the person and stuff. I do agree with what you said there, but I also think that in some situations it can be a little bit more lax than others.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
It's very circumstantial.
But it's funny you brought that up, though.
Yeah.
Because, are we done with this topic? Because that was a really nice segue for what we're going to do next.
Hey, what one?
The song that we're going to be playing.
Ooh.
Actually, this friend of ours, he's on his mission right now. And I got a letter from him, and he's like, hey, I miss listening to your radio show. He came to Snow last year and listened to our show. And he's like, I miss listening to it. You should do me a favor and dedicate a song to me.
Yes.
And
that is a great segue. It's like I knew.
I know. You said that, and I was like, this is perfect.
Yes.
So, same kid. Felix danced with him. He wrote me a letter.
He's awesome.
He's a great kid. This goes out to our friend Cotton. Well, I guess he's Elder now. We can't say his last name over air.
Elder Cotton.
Yes, Elder Cotton. But this is Somebody to Love by Queen. So remember, call into the cage and vote for the top breakup song of the week. We remembered.
Yes, we did.
And the number is 435-283-7007. Okay, that was The Reason by Hoobastank.
I like them.
And I think that's kind of a good song to segue into our next topic, because we're going to be talking about having a song next. Mm-hmm. I feel like a lot of people would have that as their song.
It is a good one that, someone could use as a song. So, I don't know. I know that for me, my opinion is that I believe that it is very cheesy to choose a song or forcing it. I think that forcing it almost makes it corny. Like, let's find a song. We need a song.
I feel like it's almost like those Facebook PDA pictures where they're like, let's have a picture of us kissing. Whereas, like, one's because it's forced. Whereas, like, ones where they're, like, engagement pictures, it's like, oh, that's so adorable.
Exactly. I don't know.
Sorry, that's just...
No, I completely agree. And I don't know. I feel like if you're dating sometimes, I feel like it just kind of naturally happens. Or, like, just with people in general, people that you like, certain songs remind you of certain people. That's just how it is. I know that I associate certain songs with certain people anyways, like for breakups, for boyfriends, for guys that you like, for guys that you used to like. Just, I think of one of my good friends, like, just through everything, my relationship with them and my friendship and everything, things that have panned out, I always think of Soul Behind the Face by the Scorpions. That is their song, you know what I mean? And then, like, I have another friend where I could just, he's on his mission right now, and we went on lots of dates, and I still like the kid, just based on things in the past. Every time I hear Better Together by Jack Johnson, I'm like, this could be our montage. Like, this is so great. Like, that's the song that I think of, with them. Or even, like, middle school. Like, I think back to this kid, Tony, that I liked. You know what I mean? And the awkward steak dance thing where you're, like, outside the steak dance. And I remember he was just sitting here like, when we're in high school, will you go on a date with me type of thing? Because, I am like the whole, I'm not going to go on a date till I'm 16 type of thing. So he's like, will you go on a date with me when you're 16? Of course, in middle school, I get all Twitter pated. I'm like, of course, and like all this stuff. And then we went back in, and we danced to Time of Our Life by David Cook. And like, we always danced to that song, you know what I mean? And so it was like our song, that sounds really corny. But with certain people, it just kind of naturally happens.
Yeah, and I know with like a lot of people, that's how songs are created. Like, I think of like 13 Going on 30 with, wait, what's her name? Is it Jenna or it's Jenna? Okay, I wasn't sure character. Because I know people say like Gina, and she's like, it's Jenna,
Yeah, it's Jenna.
Okay, so Jenna and what's his name? It's
Matt.
No, not Matt. It's Chris Grandy.
Chris Grandy.
Yes, and she's 30 and she finds him in a taxi. He's the driver, and Jesse's girl comes up, and he's like, oh, Jenna, you remember this? This was the first song that we tangled tongues to, And I know, like, with a lot of people, they would count that as, like, a song, you know, because it was the first song they danced to, first song they kissed to. I don't know. That sounds weird, but...
No, it makes sense, though. It just kind of naturally happens.
And I don't know. I think it's cute when you guys are dating because it's almost like it helps remind you of them when you guys are apart. You know, it's like, I'll just go listen to
No, really, it
this
does.
song
a
now,
ton.
you know? But on the other hand, when you break up, it sucks because, like, there are some good songs that I couldn't listen to for a while because it's like, all I thought about was, because another example with Jesse's Girl, like, we dedicated it to this kid that I liked last year. And then, like, maybe 2 weeks later, if that, he just stopped talking to me. And I could not listen to that song for the longest time without thinking
It's
of him. And I was
true.
like, oh, I just want to get over this. And then, like, another song by Big Time Rush. Okay, let's just get it out there. I like Big Time Rush.
I love Big Time Rush.
I used to work at a movie theater, and I would clean the theaters with this kid, and one of the songs by Big Time Rush came on, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love this song. And he's like, you've got to be kidding me. And I was like, don't judge me, you know, haters gonna hate. And he was like, no, I love this song too. And I was like, oh my gosh, you know, this is our song. I was kind of joking around. But after that, like, I couldn't listen to it when, like, he was kind of being weird, and, like, he added my roommate on Facebook and stuff, and I was like, I kind of gave him a talking to. I was like, okay, that's just creepy. You can't do that. You don't know her. That's weird. You're just adding her because you think she's hot. So, yeah, for the longest time, though, I was like, I can't listen to this song. It's not happening.
Well, it's because you associate it with that person. So,
And, yeah, I agree. Like, it definitely documents, like, chapters of your life.
it does.
But at the same time, it's just like, why?
It takes a while to get over that, but I think looking back now, I mean, some of the people where I think of some songs that I love, I think of people that have hurt me.
Yeah.
I think of people that have let me down, all the, you know, jerks out there that I've had to deal with and everything for certain songs. But at the same time, like I said, it reminds me of, like, certain times. Like, I think of Time of My Life, I think of Tony from middle school. And then when I think of what was it, I'll Be by Edwin McCain, I think of my friend Josh when I liked him. You know, like, all this different stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's good, but it's also cheesy and kind of corny and needs to be handled tastefully, or else it just looks...
It's weird.
It's just weird. It's a weird situation. If you're serious...
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, it just kind of happens naturally.
Yeah, definitely.
So I wouldn't force it. I think it's just kind of what it is.
Yep.
That's kind of all we have, though, as far as having a song.
But I have another nice segue. I'm full of segues today.
You are. Look at you.
So, last Friday, Felix and I went to the big, like, homecoming concert with, like, the band and the choir, orchestra, all that stuff, you know. And fun fact, there was, like, a guy who sang Carry On My Wayward Son. And he had a really good voice, and it was kind of great.
Amazing. Actually,
I salivated a little bit.
Both of us did. I left right before it ended, and I went home, and I got my business cards. Both me and the Dicer did this. We went and we got our business cards with our name and our number, saying, here's my number type of thing, like, to give to guys. So it's less awkward when you give them their number. So we both went home and we got our business cards, and we were going to go up to them and be like, we're your groupies. But then we found out he has a girlfriend. We didn't want to make things awkward. So we just thought it'd be funny. But
I chickened out. Voice. Sorry.
It's okay.
I would have done it, but I saw him and I was like, oh, I know he has a girlfriend.
I just thought it was funny, but whatever.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to be playing Carry On My Wayward Son. Yep. Because it's just a great song
so this
anyway.
Is dedicated to the rock star.
That guy. I can't remember his name.
Me neither, but he was a rock star.
He knows who he is, whoever he is out there.
Yes.
All right, here you go. You're listening to KAGJ FM Ephraim.
Wow, it's already been an hour.
Time goes by so fast when you're talking about dating.
I was about to say when you're having fun, but okay, that works
dating.
Too. Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's how the saying goes.
Oh, okay. You can change it. Gone.
Yeah, I will. Okay, so next, let's talk about dropping hints. Because I'm sure there were some hints that were dropped at homecoming. Let's be honest. Whether it's like, I'm not into you, or if it's that they were into you.
Exactly. So would you like to explain this segment a little bit?
I'm not sure what you mean by that. What do you mean, like?
Well, just pretty much.
You explain what you want me to explain.
Okay, so as far as homecoming, how does this
Okay.
relate to everything that's been going on with that? You know what I mean? Dropping hints. So
Yes.
you go into homecoming.
Right.
There's some that go really good. Sometimes it goes bad.
Right.
So why would people need to drop hints?
If they're into you, they'd need to drop hints.
Okay, see, that's all you need to say.
I'm just confused.
I was just thinking about certain situations, and I know I can only think of one. I was just wondering if maybe you thought of any other circumstances if you had talked to anybody about homecoming. I know that my roommate, she talked to me about it, and she had to kind of drop the hints of I'm not interested, and that he kept trying to make moves and stuff.
Oh boy.
He kept trying to like hold her hand, and like they're very platonic relationship, like they're just very
Right.
good friends, and he kept trying to hold her hand the whole time, and like she had to just nope the whole night. So
Right.
there's one example. I mean, it could be positive as well, where you're dropping hints saying, hey, I'm into you, but I don't know.
Right. I don't know. I just like how you said it, and like you're like, "Hey, I'm into you."
Well,
Like a super, what's the word? Seductive. We'll say seductive voice instead of like, "Hey, I'm into you."
oh, sorry about that. I don't know. I'm just thinking about
That's what I
dropping
was
hints.
thinking.
And as far as negatively, we talked a lot about this, and a big thing is avoiding
Yes.
saying that
Like
they're
the
not.
plague.
Mm-hmm. Kind of
Oh my
like, oh, I
gosh.
wish I could go to that, but
Yeah. That's either like, that can be taken either way, though. It can be like, I wish I could go to that, or, oh man, I wish I could go to that, but I don't have the invitation,
mm-hmm.
So
It could go both
sometimes,
ways.
yeah. Or sometimes they're just saying that, because I know I say that all the time, and people are like, what, do you want to go? And I'm like, no, not really. Not
Yeah.
with you anyway, like, let's keep it as a friend relationship, okay?
Okay. And then as far as also, we talked about if they don't text you back after several texts.
Yeah, it's one of two things. They either lost their phone in between, in like the last 5 seconds that they texted you, or
Well, and this is something
not
that you
into.
wrote down. Do you have experience with this? Is this why you're writing this down, Dicer?
well, okay, we're just going to throw this out here. Most of the topics that we're talking about this semester, I came up with while being on hold at a call center all summer.
It's
So I'm
true.
like, how do people drop hints? So I don't really know if I necessarily have any experience with this. Actually, false, I do.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, one time this guy stopped texting me, and I was like, okay, what the heck? And we were kind of like dating at the time, and he was like, oh, sorry, I lost my phone, or broke my phone or something, okay? And then like a few weeks later, I was like, okay, you still don't have a new phone. That's strange. It's at senior dinner dance. I was in high school, okay? And he was like, yeah, sorry, I'll let you know when I get a new phone. And almost like my friend had excellent timing there, but she didn't know that I was dating him. And she comes up and she's like, oh, hey, Steve, thanks for the number. We'll have to play sometime, and I'll call you. And I was like, oh, really? She'll
Yeah.
call you. And how was that?
That's funny. I've
You
heard
know.
that story before, actually.
I know. I feel like I used that kid as an example.
See, but-
on so many levels.
It's good. It's good.
We had a lot of interesting times together,
Yeah.
Steve and I.
Oh, dear. I don't know. I just know I've heard about that one. I was actually almost fishing for that when I read that one because I knew it was a story that you could tell. But something that I thought of when I saw that we were going to talk about this topic is the movie He's Just Not That Into You. It's a chick flick, of course. But there is some truth in some of the things lessons, I should say, that they say. And something that a character, his name is Alex in the show, that he says is that if a guy is into you and wants to make something happen, he will make it happen. So we asked some people what they thought about that statement. And what was your take on that?
I think that's true to an extent. Like, because guys can be pretty blunt if they want things to happen. I had like, just about every guy that I've kind of had a thing with, they've been pretty blunt about it. Like, hey, I like you. Or even not, like, just like regular guys will be like, okay, hi, I like you. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. We're friends,
Yeah, well, I've seen that happen with you quite a few times. And we actually asked another person, our dear friend Danny, we asked him and we were like, well, what do you think about this statement? And he said false, because a lot of guys are afraid of rejection.
Which is true.
Yeah.
But we're not saying, like, if a guy thinks that a girl's hot, he's going to go up to her, even if he doesn't know her, and be like, hi, we should date.
Yeah.
I don't think that's necessarily it. It's more like, if you have any sort of interest in a person, like, to pursue as a relationship, it's not necessarily that you're Twitter-pated, but you're, like, falling in love with the person.
Okay.
You'll make things happen.
And I do agree on that deeper level. Yeah, guys are going to make things happen, but I do understand where the afraid of rejection comes in. And also, it honestly depends on the guy. And for me, it goes both ways. For those guys out there who might be thinking the same thing with girls, for me,
right,
I'm president of the friend zone. That's honestly where I'm at all the time. And so I'm always afraid of ruining that platonic relationship where I really, really care about that person. So I never pursue anything. You know what I mean? And I'm positive that it goes both ways. You know what I mean? So it honestly depends on the person, I think, as far as that statement's concerned. But I think eventually, one way or another, they're going to make it happen for both guys and girls.
Right.
So I don't know. That's what I think about it. And do you have any other thoughts about that?
No, not really.
And then another thought that I had about it is also, as far as dropping hints, saying that you're not interested. Opposite of pretty much, if a guy is into you and wants to make something happen, he will make it happen. Pretty much opposite of that, if he's not into you, will he make sure that it doesn't happen? You know what I mean? So I think that honestly depends on the person. Again, know who you're dealing with. I think that's the biggest thing a lot of the time with dating, because everyone copes with rejecting people differently.
Well, I feel like there are a lot of, I'm not saying that just guys, but there are a lot of girls as well.
Yeah.
That will lead people on.
Oh, for sure.
Because it's like they kind of like almost prolong it. So it's like, I don't want to hurt their feelings, so we're just going to keep being friends, but that almost leads them on.
Well, and I recently, for sure, I've had that happen to me, and it's more painful.
Yeah, exactly.
It really is. But that's the way that a lot of people cope with it, leading on. So, again, know who you're dealing with. But I know that also a big one that a lot of people cope with that is just avoiding. Like, if you are not seeing them as often as you used to, or, I mean, there's a difference for, if they are busy. But I feel like if someone is honestly and genuinely interested in you, they're going to make time.
Right.
They're going to make time. So, there's just a thought there. We talked to our friend about this one as well, and he said that people, lead people on because they are cute, but that doesn't mean that they want a relationship or anything, though. So, you know what I mean? Yeah. A lot of the time, again, just see how they treat you. I wouldn't try and look at how everything's going on with other people. I mean, it's wise to see how they interact with other people, to see if maybe they're just being a flirt and kind of leading you on. But just think about your guys' relationship, I think, as friendships. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And just kind of get an idea of if they're making any effort at all. I don't know. Yeah. Those are just some thoughts with dropping hints, or to be able to tell if someone's trying to drop hints.
Right.
So.
Makes sense.
Anyways.
I don't have a segue this time.
Oh, well, that's not good.
I've been trying to think.
You've been trying. That's why you've been sitting
Happy
there.
Endings by All American Rejects. And it would be good if we did that for, like, a wedding,
Yeah.
like segue type thing. Because it's like, oh, your happy ending. But I don't have a segue.
Do you know what? I'll come up with one. It'll be a little bit of a tangent and it'll get there. But through all this junk with dating and trying to read people's hints and trying to drop hints and all this dating junk that you're going to go through, eventually, hopefully, if you keep your fingers crossed and keep it, working, maybe you'll get your happy ending.
Oh, look at you.
I know. There's my
Coming
segue.
up with hints. What's coming up with segues for hints? There we go.
Yes.
All right. Well, anyway, like we said, here's Happy Endings by All American Rejects. All right. Well, we're going to go on because there's something wrong with my iPod right now.
Well, that's not good.
Yeah. Well, that last song was supposed to be playing.
It's all good.
And instead it was like fast forwarding through it. That was so strange. Hopefully we don't have that problem again. Because I feel awkward now.
Don't feel awkward.
We're going on early.
It is just fine because we can just,
Yeah, we'll just
play it later.
It.
Anyways, we're going to be talking about, let me see, this is just our last segment. So we're going to be talking about how to make someone fall for you, which is something that a lot of people probably would like the secret to. I know somebody called last semester about this. They called in, they were like, how do you make someone fall for me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. Ever since, we've kind of been fascinated with this topic. Because, all honesty, you can't really make anyone fall for you. You can't make them anyways. Let me see.
I don't know. I feel like making someone fall for you, it's like Harry Potter. Like in the 6th movie, how Lavender Brown gives Ron, like, a love potion.
Mm-hmm.
Or no. Does she?
I don't remember.
Yeah, she does. She gives... No, someone gives... They try to give Harry the love potion. And Ron ends up getting it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just kidding. I was tricking your knowledge there. Okay, anyway. So I was like, that's what it makes it sound like to me. Like, it's like, oh, I'm going to make this person fall in love with me. So here's some love potion.
Well,
drink up.
I think that, I know that I've seen relationships where it's not necessarily obviously no love potion or anything like that. But there are some people who are so content and just chill with, okay, yeah, I'll date you, to where they're less into it than the other person is.
Right.
And I know that when I see that, it never really ends well. All honesty. Like, so if you're forcing it, I feel, then it's not going to end positively. I've seen one of my really, really good friends, actually. She forced it, and, I mean, this happens multiple times to different people, but it didn't end well. Long story short. And so, I don't know. I think that that's the biggest deal, though. Just forcing it will end badly, and it'll cause more hurt and pain for you. I think a lot of the time, things come naturally. That's just how it is. Like, things will happen naturally if you put yourself out there and you're a confident person and you know who you are and, you do your best to flirt, go on dates, all that kind of stuff. Things are just going to naturally happen. And I know that a lot of the times, just being someone's friend, sometimes you end up falling in love with your best friend anyway.
It's true.
Or sometimes, love comes when you least expect it to happen.
Yeah.
And so, those are just a few thoughts right there.
Well, personally, I think you should be yourself, because this is a quote that's stuck with me like my whole life, but it's, why be a second-rate version of someone else when you could be a first-rate version of you? It's super cheesy, but it's true. It's like, why would you want to try to be someone else when you could be the best you can be, Whereas you're never going to live up to that person.
It's true.
And I don't know. You don't want the person you fall in love with to fall in love with the wrong you. Like, you get married and all of a sudden he finds out all this weird stuff about you.
That wasn't real. The illusion that he thought that you were isn't
exactly
real. Where you could end up falling for somebody who knows you. And I don't know.
You never know who's going to fall in love with you. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
You never know who's going to fall in love with you because of your personality.
Exactly. So you need to just kind of stay who you are and stay true to who you are.
Right.
I mean, seek to improve, because something else that we've talked about, and I know it's in some notes for other segments that we've thought about doing, is that you want to be up to par to whoever you expect to end up with. You know what I mean? If you want certain qualities, then you need to meet those qualities and you need to match that, because somebody of that caliber that you're wanting deserves someone who would have those qualities as well.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Be the best version of yourself that you possibly can. Not just being yourself, which is important. It's very important. But just working to become the best you that you possibly can.
Right. Well, and I know, like, we titled this How to Make Someone Fall for You, but honestly, it's not really how to make someone fall for you. It's more like how to make yourself a better person. But at the same time, you can't even, like, we don't want you to do that if that's something you don't want to do.
It has to be for you.
You need to change yourself for you. I feel very strongly about that. Like, you shouldn't change yourself for this guy because chances are you're probably not going to marry him.
Well, I've had firsthand experience with this in a lot of ways. I know that a lot of different guys, I don't know, when you're a girl or a guy, you know what I mean, and you're in this stage of your life, dating is a big part of that. Like, that just is, you know what I mean? And then at the same time, you're making huge decisions, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That will lead to where you're going to be later because of the decisions that you make now. And I mean, that's how it always is. But I feel like it's even more so in, like, after high school, before you, like, settle down and everything. Every single decision that you make, what you choose to go into, where you choose to live, where you choose to work, affects where you're going to end up. And I feel like dating is such a big wing factor on those decisions.
Yeah.
That sounds really dumb, but, like...
It is, though.
It is dumb. It is dumb.
No,
it
is. It is, though. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Like, it's not dumb. It's just a matter of fact. Like, dating will impact your life. Honestly, like, I'm a date doctor now because I have too much dating experience.
Well,
but, like, you learn from these things. It helps you know, like, what you want. Not even just in a guy, but sometimes it will help you find out what you want in life, what career you want, because someone helped you open your eyes to new possibilities,
Well, that's what people do anyway. I mean, you're interacting with people and, relationships as far as friendships and as far as dating, like, and just in general relationships and the people that you interact with, they are going to help lead you and shape you to become the person that you're going to be. I mean, I know even looking back, I like my family and where I come from and my background. And, like, yeah, that's who I am and where I come from. But I feel like a lot of the things that I do and the way that I do things and my mannerisms in some ways and stuff are shaped by my friends that I've had. You know what I mean? And the people that have influenced me. And people I've dated as far as, like, the things that I look for when I'm dating. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I feel like, if that makes any sense. It
makes sense.
That's going to shape you either way, being around those people. But as far as dating's concerned, I think that it is too big of a factor a lot of the time when it comes to making those decisions because everything is about that, if that makes sense. Yeah. Because, I mean, how many times... I mean, you're going to deny it, but there are certain perks to making certain decisions of where you're going to be because of a guy or because of some chick. You know what I mean? That shouldn't be as big of a factor as a lot of people make it.
Yeah, I agree. I think it should be a big factor when you're serious about the relationship.
Yeah,
like
and
if you're going to marry them, then, you go chase them. You go... If they're going to USU, you go to USU after Snow. Like, I remember in high school, there was this girl who was crazy about this guy. He came to Snow. Well, actually, first, he was deciding between either going to U of U or Snow. And this girl was trying to decide whether to go to U of U or Snow. And then my friend chose to go to Snow. So she chose to go to Snow. And I think that's just weird because there's no commitment there. You shouldn't decide based on a guy where you go to college unless you're going to marry him.
Well, yeah, but they make it, and I feel like even subconsciously it becomes a factor. You know what I mean? For most people.
What do you mean by subconsciously?
Not really subconsciously. Like, it just happens. I mean, like, it's the same thing as, like, okay, if you have a ton of friends that are going to be going to UVU, then that sounds more appealing.
Okay, I see where you're going with that. I was just like, I don't understand. So it's not like I was like, that doesn't make any sense. I just wanted
but
to
it
see
just
what
sounds more appealing. It sounds more appealing when you know that there's going to be certain people there.
Yeah, that's true.
With dating, it's even more intense than just friends, I feel like.
Right.
So I feel like it becomes a bigger factor than it needs to be when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I don't know. As far as how to make someone fall for you, it's just you can't just make someone. You can't force anyone. You can't follow someone to, you know.
It's practically impossible.
It is. So all you need to do is just, like we were talking about, just try and be the best person that you can possibly be, and shape yourself into the person that you want to be, so that you can qualify, I guess. That sounds dumb, but
yeah,
match up to what you're wanting.
Yeah, and that makes sense. Because I know you talked about it earlier, but I remember my mom said this in a lesson one time that she taught for church. And she was like, it was almost like, you know, a kick in the pants. As I've been saying lately. I've been saying that phrase a lot. I don't know why. But, you know, she's like, I know everyone says that they want this type of guy, you know. But why is that type of guy going to want you if you're not the same way? Because he's not going to want anything less than what he is. So, I don't know. That's kind of like mind-opening, you know?
Well, yeah, and this sounds really dumb. We actually came up with this analogy, and I'm not going to go into depth about it. But pretty much, sometimes dating can be like shopping. And something that I was thinking about is people are going to grow and people are going to progress. And if you're wanting a certain, like, for example, we talked about people who are going on missions, or, you know, in the military, or, you know, or even just at college growing and progressing, and you guys are kind of separating a little bit. If you really want that, and if you want that caliber of a person and they're working and growing, it's like kind of the same as if, oh, you have an old shirt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you really like this old shirt and you want to keep wearing it, but if, you know, it's not your size anymore, then you can't wear it. You know what I mean? It's just how it is. So,
yeah.
I don't know.
Makes sense. That's a really good analogy we came up with.
I know. So, I don't know. That's just a thought as far as that's concerned. But, I don't know. So, it's a really intense conversation.
Yeah, we kind of like did a little tangent.
We did.
Halfway through that, but
it
works.
Well, I think
all relates.
It all kind of relates back. It's just kind of, you can't make anything happen.
Yeah.
So just be the best person you can be. That's all you can do.
Exactly.
So.
All right. Well, we're going to pray that my iPod is working now and not going to
spaz out.
Yeah. If it is, we'll do a brief intermission almost. Switch from my iPod to my laptop. So anyway, we're going to try to play Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls right now.
See how that pans out.
Hopefully it'll be okay.
Okay.
Anyway, here we go. Why is that song so adorable?
I think it's so cute. I love that song. I like David Archuleta a lot. Like, I think he's good, but I think a lot of his songs are overrated, but that's one that I think is genuinely just amazing. I love that song so much. It's so cute.
It is. That was My Kind of Perfect by David Archuleta. Sorry, we forgot to announce that.
Yes, My Kind of Perfect.
It's so cute.
It is so cute.
Adorable.
What are your thoughts about that song? Why do you like it so much?
Because it's David Archuleta.
I just think it's cute. I like the words.
I think he has a great voice.
I don't know, because think about it. Okay, David Archuleta. He's like heartthrob for all 13-year-olds, let's just be honest.
Excuse me. I'm 19.
I'm 19. He's still my heartthrob. Anyways, so I think he's so adorable. I think he's so cute. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he's singing this song. I don't know if he wrote it. Did he write that song? Or did somebody write it and he... I don't probably wrote it. And
I think someone. I don't think he's a songwriter.
I don't think so. I think he's just a singer.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, and so just imagine him singing that though. You know what I mean? And like My Kind of Perfect, what it's talking about is like, oh, she's got to be out there somewhere. He deserves like the best girl, I think. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Because he's just like, he seems like a high caliber of a person.
He's just so cute. Oh. I just want to pinch his little cheeks.
All the time. But, yeah, I don't know. That's why I like that song, but whatever.
Well, just a quick announcement, though. This week, starting tomorrow, going through Saturday, Snow Collages Theater Department is putting on To Kill a Mockingbird. Okay?
So go see it.
Yeah, go see it. It should be good.
Do you know how much money it costs or anything like that?
You know what? I can find out. Hang on. It is $2 for students with their IDs and $7.50 for adults, and $6.50 for high school age and younger. Yep. Oh, and seniors.
Yep.
So
go see
to it. Whenever I think of To Kill a Mockingbird, I think of Did you ever watch the movie?
Mm-mm.
We watched it in high school because it was required reading.
See, I bounced around high schools a lot, and so I never had to do summer reading or anything.
Well, I never. It was just
I was
during
just a
class.
summer reading.
Yeah, we read it as a class type of thing. But yeah, we watched the movie, and the little girl. Oh my gosh, she was kind of cute, but she was really annoying at the same time.
Okay.
And whenever someone says Atticus, I think of her saying it. Atticus.
I don't even know. I'm gonna have to go see it.
Like, how are they gonna do this? Because isn't it like little kids? Are they going to bring little kids into the theater?
They are.
Okay. Because I was just thinking about that. I was like, or they can bring in like 20-year-old girls and have them play this little girl.
No. Mariah's
Okay.
helping out. I mean, what's your DJ name?
Music maker.
Music maker.
She's on after us.
She's on after us, and she's great. So you should listen to
Yep. Listen to it.
Musical Mania. Is that what it is? I like musicals, so you should listen
Yeah,
to
you
it.
would like musicals.
What's that
Anyway,
supposed to mean?
we're gonna move on because we're done basically.
We are done. So we're going to be signing off with the Love Shack by the B-52s.
As always.
Always do. So,
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
yeah.
Be sure. Oh wait.
Wait.
Top breakup song of the week.
How did we forget that?
We always do this. Okay. Anyway, ready? We got a drum roll. We drum roll every week lately.
1, 2, 3.
And the winner is We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together. Very good. It's a good one. Yeah, I dominated it. I think this was 8 to 4. It's really 9, but yeah, we have to add our Facebook people individually, or not like it, we both voted for it, and then we both individually voted for it. So I feel like that doesn't count.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's going to be going on and competing.
My finals.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Anyway,
Well,
here we
great.
go. We're signing off. We'll see you next week and keep listening to the KAGJ 88.9.